listening to the Concierge Coaches Show with Bruce Cameron and Wayne Fritz, only on LA Talk Radio.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Concierge Coaches Show here on LA Talk Radio. I'm Bruce Cameron. Wayne can't be with us this week, but he'll be back next time with more exciting updates and all the good stuff that he does from his world of coaching. But today I'm so happy that we have a special guest with us. Got a lot of questions for our guest as well. I'd like to welcome, I want to say it right, Elon. Is that how you
Elon, you said it perfectly.
All right, yay.
You
So
said
that for a
it
Texan.
perfectly.
So we have Elon with us, and he has a very interesting coaching practice, and he uses multiple modalities in his coaching practice. One of the things I want to say from the beginning of the show, I want to hear about the sound bowl or the Tibetan bowl work that you're doing. That is really growing in popularity even down here. And I want to talk to you about that specifically here later on. But thanks for coming on the show, Elon. Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here. It's really a blessing. I really appreciate that. And nice meeting you, Bruce.
Nice to meet you too. Yes, Sam said some good things about you. So
thank you.
That? Small world.
It is a small world. Yeah.
Well, great. I mean, fantastic. I've been to your website, and so I guess give us an overview, if you will. Just kind of give us an overview of your coaching practice, the kind of clients that you work with, specialty areas, and then we'll go into the modalities. Go ahead.
Sure. So I work with everyone.
Okay.
Because it is all about relationships. But what I do is I help people manifest their journey here by understanding their spiritual journey, understanding the reason, and understanding that everything in this physical realm has a spiritual reason and cause. Okay. So it's manifesting the life that you want to manifest. And, sometimes the word manifestation is like being used very loosely, but it is a very, very detailed approach and a very keen understanding of why we are here, why what is happening the way that is happening. Right. And it starts with understanding that everything physical, everything in this realm has a spiritual reason and cause. And when I say spiritual, I mean our journey, our soul's journey. So understanding what caused what, and it goes very deep. Some sessions will go very deep into traumas and past experiences that cultivated why we are here today. And much of it is about communication and the relationship. A relationship, I'm not talking only about relationships between two people. I'm talking about my relationship, for example, to what is happening. My relationship to even the podcast. How do I relate to the podcast? And it is between you and me, for example, Bruce and Elon. What is my relationship to this interaction? So it's not necessarily the relationships, but it was the relationship. And when I understand why I respond a certain way or why I talk in a certain way, it helps me navigate and it helps me channel my answers, my responses, and not reaction. So
do you think a lot of your clients are disconnected from, they're in this temporal reality and they don't really have a connection to the spiritual side, and you help bridge that gap?
Everybody is spiritual. But sometimes we need a nudge. Sometimes we need something in our life that happens that will cause us to see things in a different way. For example, we're now today the eclipse, right? We have this, 54 years of it didn't happen. 54 years, and you just experienced a full eclipse, right?
Full eclipse here in Dallas. It was wonderful. Yes.
Yeah, it was like you said 5 minutes.
Yes, it was just under 5 minutes.
So the reason I bring this is because we are in spring season, right? Usually spring. Things are blooming. We're blooming. We're things are coming up, and when we're starting to come out of the hibernation and understanding and starting to see things blooming coming up. And what happens, what I noticed in this season during this past several weeks, and talking to friends and clients, is that things are coming into a chaotic mode. And it's unusual because usually in springtime, but what is chaos? Chaos is a ladder, right? Chaos is a ladder to something. And so I see this as I was talking to somebody that is going through a chaotic experience in a relationship, to dissolve the relationship, is that act of coming into this place of chaos allows somebody to look deeper, allows somebody to stop, to hold, and to look and to understand why this is happening. So what I help people is to see the process, is to map the experiences, and to map these experiences to understand what started what caused what. For example,
Sure.
if you take, for example, a wheel, like a jigsaw wheel, that turns another wheel to a different direction, and
Right.
that second wheel turned the third wheel in the opposite direction upside down, and and we're getting to a chain, to a system of about 8 wheels.
Yes.
And the last wheel is, and that's what we see. But what caused it is, there is a sentence in Hebrew. I'm from Israel, and there is a sentence in Hebrew. It's all because that little nail, right? It's all because that little wheel, and that little wheel many times is something from our past. So looking into these, that's spiritual. That is going into our souls, into our journey, and understanding and bringing down the spiritual understanding. And so it depends also on the circumstances. So, for example, when I speak with companies and talk about communications and what happened, and certain things that will help to cultivate, that will help to create a more harmonious work environment. Not everybody is open right away.
Right.
So there's a lot of politics in companies, and so it is to find this way to touch that person, that the person will feel comfortable, will feel safe, because ultimately you want to feel safe. Without safety,
Right.
nothing is. And I come from Israel. I come from a big town in a small country. I come from Tel Aviv, and in Israel, and growing up, we didn't have we're very advanced now, philosophically, psychologically, and understanding. I mean, it came to a point where it's oversaturated with options. Back at the time, it was just make sure that when you walk out, the door doesn't hit you on the head. You know?
Right. Right.
You know? So to see this change, and to see people, even from an older generation, that are opening up and coming to a place of, oh wow, okay, I see. Oh, that's a possibility. That's creating change. That's making a shift in the world. And in Kabbalah, I work with Kabbalah and NLP teachings and CBT. Kabbalah is saying each person should look at themselves as if the world was created for them, only for them, because we are a micro of the entire world. We are our body system, our organs in relation to the galaxies, to the world, are created equally. And I worked. One of my clients was Harvard at one point when I was with my computer life, and this was a group that was investigating and creating the correlation between our body system and the galaxies, the distances between each organ.
Wow. Yeah,
It's
makes
fascinating.
sense.
So
Hmm.
yeah. So anyway, so I mean, it's every client is different, every environment is different. But what I work with sound is the work with sound is very fundamental. I use sound to, in a way, you can say, it, penetrate, break the barrier. You know, coming into a new environment. We are made of frequencies. Everything is energy. Everything is a frequency. Our voice, our what we emit, how we feel is a frequency. And so when I use different sound tools, it helps to break the boundary. It helps to break that ice, to crack that ice, and to allow to go in and to go deeper into work and understanding.
Do you use those Tibetan, the Tibetan kind of the metal bowls?
Hmm.
Do you
Yes,
also use ceramic bowls, or you just use the
I don't
Tibetan?
use I don't use I don't use glass bowls or the clear bowls. I just use Tibetan bowls. There are different bowls. They're made
Yes.
of different metals, and what I love about these, what I love about it is that it doesn't work only on your auditory system, right? It comes through
Mhm.
your ears, but because they vibrate, I use them on different parts of the body,
Right.
sitting on different parts of the body, because they vibrate and you feel the vibration throughout the body. And clients are from all walks of life. I worked with I worked with different clients. Had a it was quite sad, but was a she had a 4-stage cancer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and the lady she would take medications every 2 hours for pain.
Oh, no.
Every two
Okay.
hours, to take medications for pain. I mean, the person is like, when she was already at home, there was nothing that can be done. And I was introduced to her, and I brought a set of bowls. I have set of, I mean, I have more than 20, but I have for different purposes. I have different bowls. So I will take different ones. And I did a session of about an hour and a half for her. She was very relaxed. And for the next 24 hours, she didn't take any pain medication.
Now, is that more of a low pitched, a bigger bowl, low pitched toward the abdomen, or was
They're
it
different. So they're
big?
different. So what I took for her, I took different bowls, right? Um, for the abdomen, for the head, because really all that we are experiencing in the physical comes from our spiritual
Right.
influence. In Kabbalah, it says nefesh bria. In Hebrew, it says nefesh bria beguf bari, which means when our soul and our nefesh, our soul is healed, our body is healed.
Right.
When we are connected, when we are in sync, when we are in harmony, and we understand the way that we are to understand what the world is, and the majority part is positive, but it's easier to drag into the negative. When we understand the positivity and the possibility, then we are healthy. We're creating this health environment. We are creating a healthy environment for the tree to grow. We are like trees. If we
Mhm.
put coke around the tree
Right. Yeah.
nourishing environment.
I,
Yeah.
you know, I myself am, I'm fascinated by the sound bowl, singing bowls, and those things. Um, so I'm actually considering, getting the training in that. The, the background I have is in RF training, radio
Hmm.
frequency training.
Hmm.
I have an FCC license, and
Yeah.
I'm a licensed radio operator. And I noticed that some of the radios that I like more are in the 400 megahertz range. And I know there's some bowls, 468, a 532. So
Hmm.
some of these healing bowls are at some very interesting radio frequencies, if you will, or harmonics, a harmonic of a frequency, right? So, or
Yeah.
like a derivative.
Yes. Or,
So,
or overtones, or what do you call it? Yeah.
yes, yes. So
Yeah. So
it's
it's interesting the fact that you like the fact that you here's one thing that I work with people is finding
right.
your home note, and the
Yeah.
fact that you like a certain range of frequency
Yes.
tells me that somewhere along that range is your home note. And the way that you can find your home note is I like to do it like when I'm under the weather, or if and when I'm in bed, or if I have fever or something like that.
Yeah.
I like to hum, and hum really calms me. Like
Uh-huh.
very relaxed, when you're very relaxed and you go,
Hmm. And so whatever that hum is your home
that
note.
is your home note. So well, no, it's not whatever that hum is, it's whatever you feel. It's very soothing, very comfortable, and it goes from head to toe.
But it has to be one note. It can't be a
Well,
little.
it's a frequency. It's not about the note, it's about the frequency.
Right.
And
Right.
if
Right.
we convert it to musical note, for example, mine is B, right? So if you convert it to musical note, so you'll have that note that is your home note, and you will feel it. Think about uh, um, like a string, or
Mhm.
like a like in cartoons when you have this like
Yeah. Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
right?
The tuning
So
fork or the
so
vibrator.
exactly. So you're vibrating in different. We're vibrating all the time. We're spiking. We're spiking here. We're spiking there. We're gonna. But
Exactly.
then when we come like meditation or that, we're
Right.
right. We're coming to this place, and this is important to connect with, because this is the place that brings us back to our equilibrium, right? To our center, right? It brings us back to this place where we can call home. How ironic, right? It brings us to the place we can call home. And this is so this lady that I worked with, that she passed away
Oh,
because she
yeah, the
you
cancer.
know she was, but it was fascinating, and it was grateful, and I was so grateful, and it was filled with gratitude to see this lady that was taking for a while medications every 2 hours, that she didn't have to take any medication. She felt really good for that period of time. So sound is, we are made of frequencies. Every part of our body has a frequency. Our liver, our kidneys, our hair, you know, our thoughts, our frequencies. What I emit, what I feel. Oh, there you are. What I feel is also what I emit, right? So what I emit is also what I'm going to attract. So I'm like think of yourself like a TV box, right, with 20 channels, right, and you broadcast sport on Sunday, and dramas on Monday, and investigative journalism on Tuesday. So on Sunday you're going to have only the people that are interested in sports. On Monday, that crowd. On Tuesday, that crowd. So I attract. We are magnets. We are magnets on this earth. We attract what we are. So when I feel good, I attract. And feeling good is a work. You know, feeling good is many times work, because it's we come with our baggage. We come with our scratches from childhood, from traumatic experiences with people that we went through with their life, from separations, from that is creating a dent in our reality, or in our perception of the reality. It's the perception of the reality. So it's many times we have to practice, and we have to do to practice all these mantras, or sentences, or frequencies, or analyzing our voice, which is something that I do, and I can talk about, is bioacoustics. It's analyzing the voice and understanding where the traumas affect you, and how they affect you, and what frequencies we need to bring you back into harmony, and what enzymes and minerals we can use to bring your physical body back into right together with So anyway, it's really an exhilarating place to be when somebody is going through a shift, when somebody is going through a change, and to be instrumental in being part of that. Yeah. So and yeah, I mean, sound. Have you been you? When did you start experiencing sound? I can't hear you. No, no audio. Okay, well, we are at the.
Am I back?
Oh, there we are.
I tell you, this eclipse has really stressed out everybody's internet connectivity. So I
Oh,
apologize.
no, it's
Well,
okay.
yeah,
It was interesting.
yeah. I see.
Give
You
me a
had your own
break a little bit.
blackout. You got to see the blackout as well.
I
Uh,
saw it right here. The blackout came and the blackout left.
I gave you your own blackout.
There you go.
Um, but no, I've for myself personally, my mother and sister were professional musicians, and so I've been around music from birth,
Hmm.
and actually studied at a fairly high level, and went on to mental health, and then as a hobby went into RF technology and radio frequency work and those things.
Oh, fascinating.
So
Yeah, I can.
it's yeah, kind of an interesting mix of things, and that's why I'm very interested. What I wanted to say was, the woman that you worked with cancer,
Mhm.
I think that was great. I'm sorry that she passed away, but the good news is she was probably receiving some form of palliative care between her last year, and the fact that she was able to get some relief from her pain through the
Yeah.
sound work versus opiates and morphine. You know what I mean? Not to say those are bad drugs, but gosh, if you can get relief from your pain symptoms through sound,
Or anything that is
that's
that is
amazing.
natural, that is natural. I mean, it's from the beginning. So it's like, but here is the thing: is she was already at a place where she really gave up because she was at the last
Stage.
straw kind of thing, and many times, unfortunately, but many times this is where many times we're able to create a shift in our lives when we come to either a chaos
Mhm.
that we are like, you know what, I give up. And many times we see that, it's like we say surrender, 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 surrender. Surrender to what? Many times there are these questions. I remember when I was 20 and I discovered that there was this self-actualization group in Israel, and I was 20. I was saying surrender. I'm like, what do you mean? What do you mean surrender? Where do I go surrender? I was like,
Mhm.
it is coming to a place where there is a feeling of exhausting. It's like when you take air out and you exhaust every corner of your lung and your
You've
being
just
to
like
exhale.
you've come to the end of yourself.
Exactly where you're like totally like, and that is already, it's almost like the before you pass out, it's like just that, okay, boom. It's like astral traveling, and I've
Mhm.
had that. It's just before, if somebody can, if you can be conscious before you, when you go to sleep, as your body descends, trying to stay conscious, there is this place where the body descends, but
Mhm.
you're still conscious. You're still, and then it's this astral traveling. This I traveled galaxies or places, and it was dreaming, but I wasn't sleeping. It was like I was dreaming, but I could travel to different places consciously. I was completely awake. And then I remember the first time I got up because I was afraid that I'm dying. It was that kind of an experience. So anything that is natural, that we can bring ourselves, and is exhilarating. So chaos can be actually a rejuvenating place because it is a ladder. It is a ladder to somewhere. It's like, sometimes we go through a setback. It's a ladder to the next step. So I work with sound. I work with Tibetan bowls. I work with the power of the voice. What the power of our words. I started my podcast with Sam and LA Talk Radio back in 2018, and it's called Abracadabra: Create What You Speak.
That's right.
And it's an empowerment program where I bring different people and talk about different things. But it's really the power of the word and the power of how do we use our words and how do we use our frequencies and the sentences that we say to start mobilizing the life that we want to have.
Mhm.
All right. And so I work with sound in this fashion, and I also do bioacoustics, and that is actually taking a sample of our voice, and in the sample of the voice, after analyzing it, can find the different where the traumas are affected in our voice, and
Mhm.
and in the arc of our voice, because our voice is a holographic
Mhm.
representation of
Mhm.
everything that you are. Everything is in our voice.
Mhm.
That's that's also the difference between us and animals.
Mhm.
You
Right.
know, our ability to speak. The world was created in 10 utterances. Our ability to speak. What was the first sentence that God said when He walked into the room? Let it be light. Right.
Let
Right.
them.
Right. So it is that power. It is what is affected, and through that I do the work of communication, of relationship between us to ourselves, between us to somebody else, to see the signs that are happening, and to analyze and to understand what is happening in our physical journey
Mhm.
and in our spiritual travel. What is really happening? So that is, and thank you for having me. That's really.
No, this is this is really really good stuff. It seems more common in California, but very less common in Texas. I
Well, we
was
can
looking
set
at
up workshops there.
yeah,
We can set up workshops over there.
I was looking at the sound training, and there's one practitioner in a suburb of Dallas, but there really is no one else. Um,
Well, I did travel. I did workshops in different states. I started
okay.
in the Northeast. I mean, I lived in Boston for about 20 years,
Oh wow,
and yeah, and New York for a couple of years, and I lived in the Midwest, Kansas City,
Kansas
and
City.
yeah,
Wow,
Kansas.
there you go.
Yeah, don't ask.
There
Don't
you
ask. I
go.
won't tell. No, but it was quite an experience, and but I do workshops all across. I did in Texas and Arizona, workshops of 2-3 days that includes a complete communication schedule and a whole workshop with sound and analyzing and doing all kind of activities and learning and talking about different things and concepts from Kabbalah and NLP and different tools that help people to navigate through everything and things that you can do at home, with sound and that kind of thing. So
Okay.
yeah.
How when you work with a client, do you do it like a 1 month contract or session by session, or how do you set that up?
Well, there are different things. Somebody just wants to come to have a relaxation session. The first session is always stirring the pot. It's like you go to a deli and you want to I want from that soup. but there is like a layer, and so we have to stir the pot first. So the first session is always stirring a pot. So you can get out of the first session and say, okay, I was rejuvenated, I had a good time, thank you very much, adios santos, bye-bye. Or you can go in through a manifestation workshop and a manifestation sessions that or relationship or life coaching that will be a long term, and then we build it up. So somebody can come for a single session, or somebody can come for 8 session workshop or longer, but there is never a limit on how much you can take care of yourself.
Sure.
And sound is the only modality when somebody lays down on the bed that I have in the for treatment. Sound is the only modality that tells me what's going on in your body without you telling me, or without you may not even know about that. So when I'm taking a sound bowl and I'm putting it on somebody, right? If a frequency doesn't flow throughout the body, it'll get stuck somewhere where it needs more healing. And then many times that body part will twitch, something will happen that will give me an indication that I either need to move the ball to a different location or use a different ball because it's triggering something in an area that requires a different frequency. This, for example, this particular ball is 285 hertz. 285 hertz is a frequency that I identified that sends messages to the body and to the cell. It works on the cellular level, specifically for cuts and bruises.
Right.
Specifically for cuts and bruises. I'm actually showing you live something that happened. I was doing dishes the other day, and like 4 days ago something, and I cut myself, right? I just like had a little thing. I didn't stop. And that made it way better. I mean, it's closed already, like within the same.
Now, did you touch the bowl to the cut, or you just had it?
No, I held it on this hand. I held it in this hand and continuously, like in intervals of every half an hour, to do for like 15 minutes. And that was for like about 5 hours that I would do that.
So what's the difference? I know there's the harder stick, which is a larger sound. The mallet is a softer sound. But what about when you go in a circle? What does going in the circle?
Well, that's where it's called singing.
Singing bowl. Okay.
That's where the singing comes from. Let me just a second. Let me get it.
Yeah. Oh, this is gonna be great, folks. Man, the singing bowls. This is really cool, really effective. Yeah, it's really interesting.
So this is where the term singing bowl comes from, right? So, for example.
All right.
So I have here. So this is the third eye. This is a bowl that is targeted more for third eye, right? The pineal gland, right? You can hear that.
Yeah.
It depends also where I'm singing the bowl, that will cause a different effect and will use different frequencies. Hear that?
Yeah.
So like 3 sounds, the 3 frequencies that will come up at one time. And this is also the interval. So when I start, I'll have 2 frequencies. So this is the frequency. But sexta, it's like the 6th interval. I use also the bowls to create binaural beats. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
Okay. So binaural beats, really, what it is taking 2 frequencies to create an effect. So, for example, if I want to induce a theta state, which is a very relaxed state, and that state is between 4 to 9 hertz of frequency. There's a problem because our human ear cannot hear below 20 hertz and cannot, not above 20 kilohertz. So between 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. So how would I induce that? So I would take, for example, a bowl or a frequency that is, let's say, 200, and another one that is 204. So I'll put a 200 here, a 204 here. And when I play these two frequencies, my brain automatically is creating the interval between the two. So I'm hearing that 4 or 5 hertz, but I'm not hearing it with my auditory systems. My body, actually, my mind creates that frequency. So I'm hearing the third frequency between these two bowls. So now that third frequency has its own quality aside from these two. So I'm working with different binaural beats and different combination of sound bowls to bring out or to bring in actually the desired effect or the desired. And I call it also mind hacking, because you can have a frequency for everything. Right. Okay, so now let's steer away from a little bit from the medical. Okay, I want to feel good. I want to do. Now let's do play a little bit. Let's play. So I want to be more focused, right? So I will use certain frequencies to trigger that. I want to be more active. I want to be more relaxed. I want to be more romantic. You have frequencies for everything. That's the mind hacking. It's again, we have it's
right. No,
it's fascinating, right? And so in my work throughout the years, I started about 15 years ago. I started my conscious spiritual journey, and I started that. First, I started working on a documentary that I'm still working on.
Yeah,
that I'm still working on. But shortly after I start my documentary, I met a shaman, and I start learning from that person. And one of the things that I've started working with are plant medicines. And so I work with different plant medicine to facilitate ceremonies and to work and to come to a higher place.
Oh, your high tea thing, right?
Well, that's a derivative. That's something that came out of that. With the plants, are different plants and different potent plants from different parts of the world that actually trigger something. But from that came my tea line. And that I use in ceremonies, before ceremonies, and it's called high tea for a higher state of consciousness. And this, for example, is something that that goes a lot now, especially now. So it's called high tea, and I have 3 kinds. It's a heart opener, open heart. And there is a heart opener is really opening the heart chakra. It's all made out of plants and herbs like sassafras, skullcap, hawthorn. These are all plants and trees that are heart openers. Skullcap activates the crown chakra, so it gives a little focus. Love sanity includes Shizandra, so that activates your solar plexus, the solar plexus. But the second chakra, it activates the sacral chakra, so that activates your creativity, sexuality, vitality. Mm-hmm. And this one is for your respiratory. And this is something that is going a lot now, especially after that a lot of people took the shots.
COVID.
They call them vaccinations, but it's just shots. That has a plant is called mullein. And mullein is for your respiratory system.
Okay. And
that helps remove mucus. And mucus is really in every place you have the mucus that is causing a lot of blockages.
Yes.
So that's right. So mullein is a plant that I incorporate in this tea, and this is breathe easy, and this is with sassafras. It's all heart openers. The base plant is sassafras. Base tree is sassafras. and it's a heart opener plus this cleansing, this
Oh.
respiratory cleansing that
Now, do you
helps.
brew
And
those? Do you make those yourself, or you
I
buy those?
prepare everything myself. Everything is I prepare myself. There's no factory, nothing. I get all the plants from
Awesome.
organic growers. Some of them I bring them, some and I sift through. I put together. It's my formula, and I love it. I mean, I use if I wouldn't use it and I wouldn't love it, I wouldn't make it available.
Yeah, for sure. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so
Man.
that's really so that really helps. So that's before a ceremony, um, and here is the thing of when I started this in Boston, I was after I started my conscious spiritual journey, there is a dip, right?
Uh-huh.
Every mountain that we start climbing, eventually we have a little dip, right?
A little setback.
Yeah, setback. But I didn't see it at that time. I was going through a dip, and I was like, and I had this thing with the tea, and I tried it for myself, and I really liked it. And I was like,
Man,
Ilan, come, huh?
that sounds exciting, man. I'm going to go back on your website.
Yeah, so I was like, Ilan,
Order
go ahead
some.
and do that. I go ahead and do it myself. And then my other self said, no, he's going to get it. Who's going to buy it? Come on, Ilan, give the universe the opportunity to bless you. Oh, come on. No, really. I was talking to all my 13 selves, right? And okay, fine, I did it. At that time, I made them in bags. As I put the last sticker on the bag, I got a text from a woman I knew in California that she used to do ceremonies, and she ordered 20 bags for her women's circle. Within that, and I remember because I recorded that. I videotaped. I said, okay, Ilan, I'm going to do this. I told myself I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I put the bag, I put the sticker, I put everything. And then within that 5 minutes after I put the first sticker, I got a text from her that she wanted 20 bags of my tea that she so loved when I was when I came to visit my kids in California and I did a ceremony. She wanted, and that was the beginning of understanding the abracadabra.
Well, when you say ceremony, what do you mean?
Ceremony. So, what is a ceremony usually? When we look at different ceremonies, everybody has a different understanding.
It's a
what
gathering
ceremony
of people focused on something, right?
Yeah, it could be a religious, it could be a spiritual, it could be anything. But the point of the ceremony and the point of everything really is that we give it meaning, right? It's meaningful to us. That's why we do a ceremony. So creating a ceremony is bringing intention. When I start a ceremony, when I facilitate a ceremony, so the first thing to bring is to bring intention. What is intention? What do you want? What do you want to create? Doesn't matter what you believe it's going to happen. Let's start with the first thing. What do you want to create? What do you want to bring of yourself? What do you want to receive? We bring an intention. Everything is spiritual. Doesn't matter how you look at it, Bruce. Everything is spiritual. There's no, I don't see it any other way. Because once you start seeing it that way, there is no any other way to see any other thing. So you bring an intention, and we come together and we bring different things. So first of all, we'll sanitize, we'll clear the energy with Palo Santo. I use Palo Santo. Palo Santo is like sage. I don't care for sage that much, but everybody has their own preference. Palo Santo is a South American tree that has this very earthy, musky, and really strong, really good connecting scent. Clearing that, setting our intentions, and really going with an intention into a journey, into a space of creativity, space of creation. Tea is one thing. So I'm also before a ceremony, depends what we're doing. If we're doing just a sound or we're doing plant, I will have instructions and guidance on how to prepare the body, how to prepare your soul, what to eat, what not to eat. Certain foods can make you very heavy, like meat can make somebody very heavy,
Yes.
Very, very down here. So going into ceremony also is basically a preparation for ascension.
Okay.
And it's about ultimately, all this journey, all that we're talking about, everything that we're talking about, the sound, this, the tea, I come from a music background, so I incorporate music into the healing is
Yeah.
about creating meaning.
And it's interesting because a lot of Western medicine now, strangely, is picking up. They're giving patients psilocybin, mushrooms.
Yeah.
They're giving their patients ketamine and ketamine infused, taking them into the spiritual realm through a near hallucinogenic compound, if you will,
Yeah.
an ascension of sorts. So,
Yeah, definitely.
it is interesting.
It's about time. It's about time, because when I start using it in ceremony, it was illegal. Right?
Oh
It
man.
was, you couldn't use those things, but
Woo.
thank God, plant ceremony, journey, plant medicine journey.
No, it is.
In one night, you eliminated 5 years of conventional
Right. I've
psychological therapy
exactly.
session.
All right, so we have 4 minutes left. I know we could just keep going all day.
Yeah,
and
we can
all
talk.
night. I know, just such a pleasure to. I know that our listeners and viewers are just going to gain so much knowledge from you. So before all the time runs out, let's take the time now for you to tell our viewers and listeners how they can get a hold of you.
Okay. Well, first of all, my website is bodysoulsound.com.
That's a
And
great name, by the way. That's a great
thank you.
great
Thank
URL.
you. It's body soul sound. So body, soul, and sound, because our body is our guide, our soul, and the connection through the sound.
Yeah.
Bodysoulsound.com, and on Facebook /bodysoulsound or Ilan Azulay. My YouTube channel, I have a YouTube channel where I have different teachings and different talking, and also other things that I do.
What's the name of the channel?
It's youtube.com /Ilan Azulay.
Oh, your name. Okay.
My name, yes. So it's my first and last name, ILANAZOULAI. And it's I make it very simple. It's very simple. It's just
very good. And you're physically based out of the LA area.
I'm in Redondo Beach. Yes.
Redondo Beach.
I'm looking here to my left. I have the beach. And it is a manifestation. I manifested it. If I can do that, you can do that. And it's about everybody has their own reason, their own wantings, their own desires. And so,
exactly.
Yeah. Thank you so much. It's been really a pleasure being here.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you coming on the show today.
Thank you very much.
Such a pleasure. And it's always just so refreshing to hear about these techniques. Oftentimes, we get a little bit stuck in just CBT and goal setting, and we get these the folks that have read the book The Secret, the over manifestors, the prosperity gospel guys, and so it's good to hear you talk about that in a more scientific, and it makes very good sense. That's why I wanted to really focus on the sound, and then we finish off with the teas and the plants. Just marvelous stuff. So
thank you very much.
Well, that is great. Well, folks, it was another fantastic show here on the Concierge Coaches Show on LA Talk Radio. Remember, you can see our show on Apple Podcast, and we're going to have show notes from today's show with backlinks to Ilan's website and possibly his YouTube channel. You can see and hear us on iHeartRadio. We also got picked up by Amazon Audible and several, I know, right? The little podcast that could. We're just getting picked up by everybody. So I just love it. So, and of course, Facebook page, Concierge Coaches. This show will be on the Facebook page, Concierge Coaches Show. I can be reached at conciergecoach.net is my coaching website. So with that, we'll bid everybody farewell and stay blessed, stay well. And Ilan, take care.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody who's been here, and have a great week.
Thank you. And we'll see everybody here next time on the Concierge Coaches Show, LA Talk Radio. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
You're listening to the Concierge Coaches Show with Bruce Cameron.